Okay, Dewalt drill repair. This is the DCD796. Common problem. Works fine. Stuck in hammer mode. If you use this thing as a hammer drill on concrete with the hammer mode, it melts the gearbox and melts the hammer mechanism in place, so she won't come out of hammer mode. Only way to actually fix it is to dismantle the whole gearbox, remove the chuck, get onto this plastic gearbox housing, dismantle the hammer mechanism, maybe fix the plastic gearbox in if you can. If there's too much damage, you have to replace the part, this whole gearbox housing. So let's do that now. These Dewalt chucks and these drills, they don't have a center screw, so they are tightly torqued on, and you can't just knock it off with an Allen key. You can cut it off, make it an awful lot easier, but if you cut off the chuck, you're also replacing the chuck then. Makes the repair quite expensive. This chuck should be okay. I'm going to try to take it off using a different method by going through the back. So you need to chuck off to access the screws. Let's go off this sleeve end here. I do this in some sort of order for you. That's the spindle we want down in there. If we can lock the spindle in place, you can take a large Allen key and a pull bar and pull this chuck off using lots of torque. Now if you ever strip out a gear on your drill, it'll be that part there you want to replace. Now we're going to fix the spindle in some way in order to remove this chuck. Chuck still works, so get her opened up. Now, there's different ways you can do this. You can be fancy. Go on the Dewalt website, look up the machine, look up the wee service part. There's a service tool you can get for this here, for removing the chuck. Wee boy that fits on here perfectly. Clamp it down in the vise, Allen key here. Give it a turn. Or you can make your own sort of jig if you wanted to. You can be as fancy as you want with it. Generally, I just cheap out. Just get 2 flat, cold steel chisels. Wedge one on there. Wedge one on there. Stick them in the vise, good and tight. Allen key on the back of them. Does the same thing. That's the setup you want. 2 flat cold chisels pressed against the spindle flat edge. Big Allen key clamped in. A wee extension as well. And she should come straight out. That's it. Now, that works most of the time for taking them chucks off. And that is why they're so tight to take off, because that wee thing you see on top isn't a screw at all. It's just a wee nubbin. Serves no purpose, to be honest. Don't be tempted to beat this out, because there's a bearing below this. You're just going to destroy the bearing if you knock this out. We need that off then. Get these here screws out. Now, this is for your hammer mechanism. That wee ringed gear, or rippled gear down in there, that is your hammer. That matches with this one. They literally just rub together and rattle. It's not actually a hammer mechanism. Okay, that mechanism is broken anyway. Yep. That's actually totally smashed. So that's your hammer. And that's your lever, as you can see. It's actually the spring arm. It's snapped off. So the housing is actually fine. Now you'll see down on here, this will all melt. And you'll not be able to take this part out. So also you'd fix it up, if it can be. If it's not too badly melted, you can just file down the sides so this can run free again. Normally they're too badly melted, you have to replace this whole housing. So this one simply needs this part. Okay, that's the part's cleaned down. That's the part we need. That's what's actually broken. That's the bit that's broken. That's what we need to replace, not the actual gearbox housing. So start of the video going to show you this here to replace the gearbox housing, because it's the most common thing that goes whenever it gets stuck in hammer mode. It's the first time I've had to replace one of these. So we'll just show you anyway. Once you just get to this stage, it's only a matter of removing that clutch wheel. That there's the whole gearbox disassembled. So you just swap that part out for your new one and then put it back together again. This time we don't actually need to. I just stick this back together. This is just for your actual clutch for screw mode. That's what gives you your torquing down. Torques down these pins onto this gear. That's what gives you your clutch. So keep reassembling from here. So now we just have to get all of this back in here again. But painstaking, but it's doable. So raised piece here. That can slide in there first. And it just drops down. This hammer mechanism goes on top, teeth facing up. It can only go on one way, because these are not centered. Only one orientation is correct. Drops down at this wee hole. That's what locks this in place. So as this goes round, it lifts up the hammer pipe there. This wee hammer gear. This is the reason why I don't actually like hammer drills, 3-mode drills with hammer action. Hammer action on a cordless drill is basically useless. It's just rattle mode basically. There's no hammer on it at all. The only thing that's good for is destroying the drill. This Dewalt's a perfect example, probably the most perfect example. Use the hammer mode in this at all, destroys this plastic housing. It's useless. But hammer mode in these drills generally just ruin the drill. It's just vibrating. Vibrations kill everything. Get that in again. And your spring and your washer. Now the sleeve again can't be put on wrong. Only go on wrong. It can only go on one way. All these wee teeth have to line up with these teeth, and again they're not centered. This wee boy sticking up locates into here. That is it in place. Will not go together any other way. Then your spindle again, and we triangles are on the other side of this disc as well. The sleeve, so you have to be lined up correctly for it to fit. This whiter one fits on there. And you'll see the screws as well are also not centered. You'll know you're right when they all line up. Now you can change your chuck now if you like. You can torque it back on the exact same way. Get it on good and tight. Use your pry bar to actually torque this on good and hard. Or you can wait to the end, put a bit of Loctite onto this if you like. I'm just going to stick it on now. That's her. Just use your 2 bars to put it back on again. Exact same way as you took it off. Now, these wee pins, the round faces towards you, the flat goes down. This wee spindle is inside. These pins need to go onto here. This is what locks your chuck. Whenever you're tightening it up, it just doesn't make the motor spin. These actually jam up the chuck itself. These have to go on here before dropping on. Obviously, they just drop out once you turn them upside down. So put a wee touch of heavy grease on first. Grease will simply hold these in place as you're putting it together. That just sits down in there. Clutch gear. Just do not take much grease. The more you put on, the more it's going to come out. Now, as for your locking gear, pin faces up here. This sits flat. Flat edge faces down. Obviously this wee pin here goes into the spring. This is your selector ring. This is where your actual change lever slides into. Obviously the teeth face down. This last ring gear, again, can only go on one way. There's no notches this side, there's 5 up here. Top cover slides on there, and as well this one slides, sits on top, and just twist it into place. It locks the whole gear assembly together. This obviously goes on top. This is your selector. This is the top side. Has to slide into that selector ring. Change lever on top. And then this little notch in your selector ring, and it's to line up your screws. Help them take them in and out. That's it. Drill mode. That's it. Spot on.